if you're owning GameStop right now, you're on the long side, what do? Well, again, Wall Street's always a forward-looking mechanism. So the cat's out of the bag right now. The fact that the secondary has been announced, my guess is it will continue to put downward pressure on the stock. But cat's out of the bag, right? The news is out there right now. But what do? Well, here's the truth, okay? At this point in time, you have to just ask yourself with GameStop is, what do you really think is the smart play here for you? To wait and, you want to take the chance now that the new chairman to be Ryan Cohen, right, who has some substantial success behind him with Chewy, although he's got a lot of detractors in, how Chewy was run. Listen, I think he's a very brilliant guy, obviously, okay? And he's beloved by many people on the internet, right? So good for him. That's a great thing. He's done some great stuff. But, the question is, and here's what it comes down to. Does Ryan Cohen's attachment now as the chairman of this company make the company worth infinitely more than its fundamental value? Like, is Ryan Cohen's presence, along with a couple of people now that he's hired, he brought some people in from Amazon and from some people from his old company, Chewy, right? So he's brought those people in, all very talented operators. But the question is, you have this company that's really in a very archaic business, with an archaic business model. So it's like, if it all just, what I'm saying is, I don't really know what's going to happen with GameStop. Who does? He doesn't know, Ryan Chewy. He's going to do, Ryan Cohen. He's going to do his best, right, to turn the company around. He probably has a vision. He wants to obviously take it and turn it into a modern e-tailer without all the brick and mortar locations. And he's going to make a play with that, right? But that's an uphill battle fraught with a lot of risk and massive competition. There's a lot of big, massively established players in that field. And now GameStop is going to try to essentially kind of retool their entire business model to fit into where they believe the market for video games are going in the future. Will he succeed? He might very well succeed. He really might. And he might turn this into a company that's worth $300 a share. Or he might fail miserably and he just can't keep ahead of the curve here because there's so much dead weight behind, so much that went wrong, and maybe he won't succeed and the company will continue to slide down. Ultimately, people will lose interest in a while and the stock will go back to its value of what? Well, it used to be $4 or $5, whatever it was, right? Well, now if you raised money at 180, you probably bring that value just because there's cash in the bank. But if things don't go well, then you'll burn through a lot of that cash and you'll have a significant problem on your hands. Here's my point. I don't know the answer, and neither do you. No one really knows for sure. But what you need to understand is what you're doing here, what you're engaged in. Just understand what the bet is now. The bet, I'm just telling you, the short, the squeeze, it's over, guys. It's over. That particular squeeze. You could have some mini squeezes in the middle here with options, trying to drive up the stock with options, but you would be far better served, anybody, I believe, investing your money in a company that you just, in a fresh idea that you thought really had some potential, not to create this is almost like a Hail Mary pass, okay? And, you have, and I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I'm just saying I want you to know the bet you're making. If you believe in Ryan Cohen and you believe in the future of GameStop and the Hail Mary pass, then still go for it. Stay long, stay strong, be a long-term player. I'm not telling you to sell. What I'm telling you is that that's what you're betting on. I wouldn't bet. I think it's very foolish now to bet on that. Just more retail investors are going to come in and keep driving the stock up. I think that's a fool's play right now. At Stratton, we always had this thing. We called it the greater fool theory. Because we used to always say, what is a stock really worth? What is a share worth? Well, in reality, in the short term, the ultra short term, a share is worth whatever a greater fool than you is willing to pay for that share. So if you know that a stock's going to $12, then it's worth at least 11.5 because after the commissions on the way in and out, if someone's going to buy it, it's worth 11.5. If someone even more foolish than you who will buy it, then you're actually very smart to be buying it at 11.5. Even if the fundamentals say it's 2, if it's worth $2, but you bought it at 11.5 because someone's going to buy it at 12, then that's a smart buy. That's called the greater fool theory. And it's different than fear of missing out. FOMO. FOMO is different. FOMO is what drives people to make decisions. Greater fool theory just means it's an explanation of what a value of a security is. It's worth whatever someone even more foolish than you is willing to pay in that moment. That's the ultimate test of what a stock is worth. Then you have the other side of the equation, which is more of the Warren Buffett side, which is the value side, which is like, no, it's like, there are rules to this game. And there are ways that have been proven and that are time tested to analyze and ascertain exactly what a company's fundamental value is. And in those times that the market is undervaluing these companies, meaning the stock price does not reflect the value, it's much lower, then those would be buying opportunities. You'd want to buy at that point. So if the stock is theoretically worth 20, fundamentally, you've done your calculations all based on everything, the future growth, right? 20. And the market is saying on any given day it's worth 8, then you'd want to buy that stock. Conversely, if the stock was trading at 50 and the fundamental indicators were all saying, no, it's worth 20, then that will be a stock that you wouldn't want to buy. You'd want to actually sell it. That's the way a Warren Buffett would look at the stock. But on the other side, you have the momentum players, which is what many of you are doing right now. We're listening, is you're completely disconnected from that longer term reality, because that's what that is. It's a longer term reality that water always ends up seeking its own level, that fundamental value is eventually recognized. And the market is imperfect, meaning that the market overvalues things and undervalues things all the time. It's constantly overvaluing and undervaluing different stocks. So you want to use those as opportunities, those undervaluations to be buyers and those overvaluations to be sellers. That's the Warren Buffett side, and I just explained the other side. So I'm not telling you that to hold GameStop is a waste of money or a bad idea. I'm just saying to you, know what you're doing. Know if you hold it, know why you're holding it. You are betting that this man, Ryan Cohen, along with the new management team he's bringing in, can do this, what is probably against the odds, massive turnaround, and take a lumbering, archaic company with an outdated business model and modernize it, soup it up, and create massive growth. If he does that, the guy's a legend.